Make it real simple, man. Why should people consider transformations as important?
Good question. So I think the biggest thing for me and why I would say transformations are important is I think everybody should see their best shape or their best conditioning at least once in their life.
Mm.
It's kind of one of those things that a lot of people might live their whole lifetime and potentially never see their full potential or
Yeah,
what
yeah.
their body's physically capable of. And I think if you look past the physicality, which I'm sure we'll touch on today,
Yeah, man.
there's so many other benefits that come with that physical, image
Yeah.
that people don't often realize. So I
Mhm.
think it's important that everyone should transform themselves at least once
Mhm.
into what they perceive as their best shape yet.
Yeah.
And then we kind of help them take it from there.
Good thing we're going to dive into this. Like, we look at the spiritual, the mental, and the physical side of transformations as well.
Yeah.
Before we get into that, what I'd love to do is start off with barriers because there's sometimes in a way a negative stigma behind transformations to begin with when it comes to fitness. I'm sure you'll have heard a lot of excuses and like things that's bad, it's fads, it's there's intermittent fasting and all these different things, or they just
Yes.
cut diets, then they go back the yo-yo diet because they end up going back to what they were in the first place. What's probably the number one barrier you've found when people say, I want to do a transformation? What's the hardest thing they've had to change in order to get there?
Yeah. It's a good one. I think I ask people always, are you prepared to make sacrifices?
Mm,
For a transformation, you have to sacrifice something somewhere.
yeah, literally.
Simple. So the people just aren't prepared to make the sacrifices. It's, you know, when you do a transformation, it's for me, it's like, maybe that 5 o'clock beer with the boys has to go.
Yeah, yeah.
We're on the transformation run now. It's, half of me loves the lifestyle approach, but when we talk transformation, it's those small details. They need to go.
Yeah.
We need to make sacrifices, get to bed early, get up early, stay consistent with training. So I think when people can start to understand that sacrifices have to be made, all of a sudden they get like this open-minded approach to going, oh, all right, so I'm going to have to feel a little bit of suffering for a little, short-term pain, long-term gain.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
Once we've unlocked that, it's pretty good.
What about the ones that go for usually it's a 12-week, 24-week kind of period that most transformations are based around.
Yeah.
But the overweight, the fatty, they wants to lose the weight. There's usually going to do the 12 weeks and 24 weeks and then runs back to the old self.
Yes.
Like that must be the most common thing you see all the time.
Yeah.
How do you break it at the start to these guys? Like it is a sacrifice. There is a sacrifice, but you have to sit down and have hard words with these guys that like, don't waste my time, don't waste your money, don't waste your time type of thing. Is there an introduction for you to go into this?
Yeah, like you need to set the ground rules at the start, and you need to be really clear and transparent because the expectations from me are a certain level. They have expectations coming into it. Most people expect me to do all the work, and it to be mostly me that gets them there. But we know that I see them 3 hours a week, maybe a few texts here and there, which I try to give as much as I can. But so much can happen behind closed doors that can obviously make or break this.
Yeah.
So it's setting the right expectations. I like to let them know that we are looking past 12 weeks or 24 weeks. Like, look, we're going to focus down into our transformation now. And I even bring it back to 4 weeks. I bring it back to 2 weeks. We start with a 2-week diet boot camp first. So I'm like, eyes are on 2 weeks. That's it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we are going to keep in mind that end game. What's happening at the 20-week mark, at the 36-week mark, at the 52-week mark. But you can't overwhelm them with that sometimes initially. And I think when people come to you, they don't really care about 52 weeks.
Yeah.
They don't care. They don't think about the yo-yo. And I think that's where you've been in the industry a long time. You would have seen people.
Hey, watch the AJ, watch the AJ.
You've been in Dubai a long time in the fitness industry, but you see people yo-yo.
Yeah, all the time.
And because they haven't been given the right expectations. They want that initial look. They're not really prepared to like look past that. And it's a sad story. I think as a trainer, I feel like it's a bit of a fail point for me, honestly.
Yeah. What about the ones that, how do you put this one? Like, okay, the fatties that literally don't want to put in the work. In the first week, they haven't done the work.
Yeah.
You must have these conversations over and over again, right? Because they're not mentally ready. Do you have the hard stance on them? Or do you have the nurturing kind of baby stance on them?
I think what defines a good coach is the person that can pick the mood. We get a range of different clients, and I've worked with a range of different personalities. So I think what defines personal training or coaching is somebody that's able to connect with that individual.
Yeah.
I love getting stuck in to a fatty or to someone, to a lazy bastard, basically.
Oh,
like, I love telling somebody who's usually, look, a lot of the people we work with are probably in senior positions in their careers, probably not necessarily a more dominant character, but they're like, they're coming to us with like some some good accomplishments. So I'm stripping them right back. And what I love is, I love seeing, let's say, a corporate man or woman who's quite successful in their career enter the gym, park their Rolls Royce out the front in their suit, change, and then come kind of hobbling over to me in their old workout gear, looking really timid. And that's where I think then it's my time to shine. And that's where I'll be, I think I'll try and get either stuck in or not. To answer your question, I've had people contact me, not ask my rates, sign up, see you on Monday. They're half an hour early, nail the first week, and their transformations are incredible. The other hand, haggling price, tiptoeing, canceling the first few consultations, not really adhering to the first week. Generally, I'm pretty quick to say, let's just call it, because we're probably not going to get what you're expecting here. Or should we change the goalpost? You came to me wanting this. We both realized you can't actually do that right now. What can you give me? All right, let's try this. And then maybe I get them 6 weeks down the line. And then it's like, you ready for this now? All right, let's have a crack. So I like that approach. I try to be a little flexible with that.
But you got to be real. And like the stigma of like, okay, if I'm calling someone a fatty or lazy, it's because I think you're fat or you're lazy, or you haven't accepted the fact that you're fat or lazy, or if you want to change it, you haven't prioritized your health yet. Because you prioritize wealth first because you was doing support for the family, or whatever it was, career, whatever it was. But I think one of the biggest things personally is that you got to accept where you are. Like until you do, you're not going to do anything about it. Like it's a change of lifestyle. It's a change of way of living. So you got to do this right.
It's funny you say that. So I had a client who was just with me now. His name's Gordon. You won't mind me talking about him. So Gordon's from NZ. He runs a massive company down in between NZ and Oz. He flies him out. He's been out here. It's our 5th year anniversary. So he flies himself out for what he calls fat camp. He calls it fat camp. And I'm always a bit like, oh, don't say that, mate. Like, it's all right. Like, but I love that he owns it. Like, he's like, nope, fat camp. I've basically been a bender for the last 6 months. He comes to me to Dubai. We had a 4-week stint. He lost 10 kilos. So he hopped on the flight, 10 kilos lighter off to the UK and straight on the plane, smashing a bit of booze. But like for him, it's kind of like he gives this time back to himself to kind of set the expectations around, all right, I need to dial back in on my fitness. And every time he comes, we get a little bit closer. He kind of loses a little and he knows that. He's also like, you know what, Jace, like when you're not around, I'm kind of going to enjoy myself, but I'll see you in 6 weeks and we'll go again. Or, 6 months and we'll go again. But so I think it's being real, like you're saying, and don't put your head in the sand. That happens so often.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not pretty.
Because like you said, it's the 3 hours with you, but then there's the literally, what is it, the 163 without you. And that's actually the time that really counts because those were the big habits. What is it then your first go-tos when it comes to, okay, how do you create these habits? How do you create these or stack these habits outside of the transformation 3 hour time that you have with them?
So we kind of, I would say a lot of it comes down to setting those targets at the start and keeping them simple. I think a lot of people make the mistake of overcomplicating them. We both know that you don't really need to do too much crazy stuff for your average population client to just move from being a sedentary, inactive, overweight, obese, unhealthy adult to being slightly better in all of those areas. All they have to do is kind of move a little bit more, eat a bit less.
100%.
So that first period is I'm like, let's keep it simple. So it's just we set them a basic step target, a lot of hype around steps, but it's just like just move more basically and eat a bit less. So we just give them a kind of a little fine guide around their nutrition. And I just initially, like I literally set goals with the client today and it was just 10K steps. We said adhere to the diet plan for 14 days, check the box and then see me. And there's 3 check boxes on their little app that they have on their phone. Every night, check it and we'll review it in 14 days. And basically that will be a reflection of what your scale weight is when you jump in on the scale with me. So I think sometimes people overcomplicate. Now it's so hard. Hey, like sleep, like ice bath, recovery, sauna. I mean, I love a lot of the things that are out there. There's a lot of things that are science backed. But don't you think it's a little bit crazy or a bit overwhelming?
Yes, 100% I do, but also understand where it's come from because everyone's trying to get ahead or everyone's trying to be the master or the leader, the expert. I mean, over the space here, looky here, everyone's saying like, oh, the best trainer or the number one space or the number one brand is like, it's in the eye of the beholder, in my opinion. It's like, and if there's there's 9 million people here, maybe there's 10 million now, but you're not going to be able to train 10 million people.
No.
So, I mean, like, just be you, do you, and you're fine, right?
That's right.
Because that's where the next kind of want to go. I want to go into the mental side first.
Okay.
Because I think that's the biggest challenge that trainers have.
Yeah.
That with people, it's easy to prescribe, like you said, eat a bit less, do a little more.
Yeah.
Boom. That's your first simplicity that you can get to. But then it's the battle that people have got to have to get them inspired or motivated or disciplined, committed, whatever you want to call that.
Yeah.
So go, okay, how I get this mental change to change the habit? Like, was it George? Sorry, it was
Gordon.
Gordon. Sorry,
Yeah,
Gordon.
yeah.
So Gordon, you know, he's at peace that he knows where he's at least he mentally he's still in the space. He comes in, he works hard, drops the weight down, goes away, still lives life. There's a lot of other people out there that don't want to sacrifice or they don't want to. So when you come to that push, I know you want to do it individually and you're saying if you're not in the right space right now, that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll reassess. Maybe it's not right for you right now. What is the biggest psychological thing for males when they're coming into this transformation? Why do they want to be there to start off with? Okay. And then what do they think they're going to get compared to what are they actually going to get from a transformation?
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of males will come in usually from a confidence perspective or a bit of low self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know, they're not really feeling confident in themselves. Sometimes the missus is giving them a bit of a nudge. Oh, they've gone through a little bit of like relationship, you know, dramas here and there. And I think they've realized that they're kind of falling off the bandwagon a little bit, or, you know, it usually stems from like a confidence-based issue for most of the blokes that I've kind of worked with.
There's a pain sitting there, right?
Yeah, it's just like, you know, I don't fit into my clothes. I look, you know, I love hearing the one where my daughter said, why do the other dads look like Superman and you look fat? You know, that one I can see, you know, old mate almost holding back the tears. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. Like, you know, you are a representation to your kids. So for a lot of the blokes I work with, it's, you know, they're obviously parents or their dads. Our demographic is from 25 to 45 that I'll kind of usually work with. So, you know, from 30 onwards, you've got a lot of parents who are trying to be role models for their kids. So that's usually a big one. So it's like those pain points around confidence and image. It was the biggest barrier, right? You asking me?
Yeah, like with these guys, they to change the sacrifice, right? It's ego.
The biggest barrier I have with them is ego.
Yeah.
Because they think they know
everything,
what they need and they need everything. So I have to come in being obviously a lot more dominant in my knowledge base over the years. I mean, it's over 12 years. So I'm kind of like, no, mate, like this is how it's going to work.
Yeah.
And usually when they don't apply what we say, we kind of both just sit there and go, how did that go? Like we can kind of see why it didn't go the way we wanted. But ego's the trick, especially with guys. Ego's the hardest one. Once we kind of break that, or I would say guys need to you need to earn their respect too a little bit. You need to show that you're living that way.
Yeah.
And that's what I try to do. Like a lot of the time is I'll do a lot of the things I'm prescribing. Just by naturally over the years, you know, you're in the health industry. We kind of it's easy for us.
Right.
We don't realize it. But I think
go be reminders sometimes, right?
Yeah. But from an integrity perspective, there's also a lot of trainers out there who don't do what they say, or they don't kind of look the part, or they don't live the way they say they tell their clients to live. And I think that sometimes makes it hard for especially guys to actually buy in and then actually dedicate themselves.
Because like mentally, you're going through this stuff, the work is tough. Like, and there's other things too. Like males aren't very good at opening up in the first place, right? That's the hardest thing. Do you find they start to open up, let's say after week 1, week 2, you know, to become that more brother, best friend, or maybe confident that you're like, hey man, like this is actually what I want to do. This is the reason I'm kind of doing it. How deep do you get with these guys? How deep can you get?
I think my skill set and the reason I've gotten to the place that I've gotten with my career is that I've been able to get onto the levels. You have to.
It's the real.
You have to. Like, there's just no two ways about it. When you're working with someone in that private capacity, whether it's athletes or just general population, you as like a coach, you need to get to their level. And that's obviously having a bit of empathy, understanding. I mean, I've probably learned more from clients telling me things than I have like going out there and living it or reading it online or being taught it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just their experiences that I've kind of been learning from. And I've heard some crazy things. I've had people go through crazy levels of depression, and I've been their first points of contact, which initially is very uncomfortable. And I've had to obviously then at the right point, try to kind of edge them towards professional. But initially they weren't ready for that. So I was just taking it in. And so, you know, I love when you see somebody actually start to unlock those barriers, those are the guys that get the good results.
Yeah.
You need to break the ice and you need to make them feel comfortable that it's a safe space. And the hardest one is when you train their misses as well. Like when you've got a couple, guy or girl,
Left and right.
I'm getting like the story about old mate from Madam and then old mate from Sir, like telling me how bad she's been. And it's just like, I'm in the middle, like guys, you can just let it out. But it's, you know, I'm not obviously there to kind of advise too much, but it's just sometimes they don't need that. And you know what it's like just letting people kind of let their guard down and then in turn, obviously make sure they're still training.
Yeah. Because like you can easily get caught in the middle. They go like, oh, what did you say? What did you say?
Yeah.
Like,
That's risky, especially here. I prefer to avoid that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely you need to break those barriers. And I just, in the past when I haven't been able, there's been times I've not been able to break the barrier down. That person's probably just not been ready to.
Yeah.
Maybe I just am not the right personality for them and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And usually your results will kind of show. Maybe we didn't get where we wanted to get.
Yeah.
There was a bit of tension. We kind of didn't gel. And unfortunately, I'm probably not their trainer. And that's normal.
But that's normal. That's what there's different trainers.
The next guy or girl will probably be their breakthrough trainer. And
totally.
I hope that's the case.
Okay. Well, that's a massive thing. And I'm glad you brought that up because there is that part where, you know, I can't train everybody. I'm not going to be able to get the results. So I can't make that connection. Like everyone can prescribe, but it's about how you're connecting, how you're communicating with individuals. And some people you just don't gel with. It's just friends in circles and stuff like that, right? What about from the stigma of transformation's bad for you because you lose weight too fast? You know, that's down the industry or that's down the public marketing. It's all about drop faster. You know, everyone says all the sales or marketing comes out, lose in 4 weeks, lose 10 kilos in 4 weeks. Like everyone's different, but everything's sold in the faster, you know, what is your thoughts on it? How do you deal with it?
It's a tricky one because I think even if you look back 5 years ago, I felt like there was more trend around quick changes. Let's say Manjaro aside or Zenpic aside. Let's not open that can of worms yet because now I think that's brought back the quick results situation. But let's say besides that, before that started to trend again, people were using the word like holistic lifestyle or lifestyle approach. Like I have clients call me and say, I'm looking for that lifestyle change or that lifestyle transformation where 5 years back it was like, I want 8 weeks to abs. You know, it was like those, I felt like those headlines.
7 minute abs. Remember they were
Yeah, exactly. So I felt like, I've been in the, you know, I was saying to you before, like I've been in the transformation space where I was working for a company here, quite renowned in what they do. We were doing 12-week drastic transformations and some of the results that were being churned out by this company in particular were phenomenal from a visual standpoint. Again, no shade there, but we all know what happens when someone goes through such a drastic change. There's a lot of side effects on the back end. And if it's not handled the right way, it literally can make or break someone. Personal experience. I got here, I did a little shred, 5 weeks, I dropped 10 kilos. Now, like I was more muscular. I was 11% when I started. So I didn't really have that much to drop to the point where I was on like 1,100 calories a day. I was trying to sneak protein bars so my trainer wouldn't see me. I would walk down the aisles of the supermarket just to look at food. Like when I got to that,
sniffing the aisles.
Oh, mate, like when I got to the 5 week mark, I was like, I can't do this. Like this is bullshit. And for weeks afterwards, I had such a negative relationship with food. I'd eat something. I was like, oh, fuck. I'd go do 40 minutes cardio. I'd have a few biscuits. And then I just was like, fuck, this is what's happening on the other side. Like when I'm putting these people through this, they just don't know how to
deprivation leads to excess.
And I'd say to people, like, I'm a trainer. I have all the knowledge. I know why this is happening, but it still really affected me. And we know a lot of trainers also have these issues too, because some of us are crazy. Like when it comes to training.
Every now and again.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I'm all for it, but it's just that transformation can give you such a negative relationship with food.
Massively.
It can really unlock some demons. And I think if it's not handled the right way, you know, it can make and break someone's whole perception of fitness.
Yeah. And that's where I don't know if it's all come from there as far as transformations, because like you lost it too fast. And I know and I've gone through myself times where I've gone like, I've had the whole, just drop it. Just stop eating that crap and you'll lose weight or go harder on your workouts or whatever. Changing to the point of just take your time. Like if you can't sustain this like comfortably right now, you're not going to be able to sustain it afterwards. So it had to be just conversations about what do you want? Do you want to lose it for your wedding or something like that and then go back to being lazy and fat? Like that's just how I see it now. And that's just my point of view. And that by no means they're a bad person. It's just you have fat on you or you don't do much. That's just, and it's your choice. That's your life and that makes you happy. It's not going to affect me, right?
No,
So that's what I'm like. So then when it comes to that stigma or that push, like you and I are both in the space where we go like, man, this is normal. I'm going to go lift weights. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to eat this because I like the taste of it. And it's my day-to-days, right? But then the push for guys, like, because now I want to talk about supplements or steroids to get them there faster because of, there is the mental pain that they're trying to relieve first.
Yes.
Is it the breakup? Oh man, like I got lazy, I got fat, my wife left me, or she just doesn't like me anymore, doesn't find me attractive. So there's a massive beat down on the mentality side of things.
Yeah.
And so they want that quick, like a dopamine fix in a way to get to where they want to go to. Have you ever been through cases where they've gone to extremities and had to go, look, mate, you need to stop that. Taper back, find help, maybe potentially, because there's other side of it too. And I've actually gone through with a client who was going through massive depression and suicidal. So he got to get into conversations during the session. Mate, I don't think I should be here. You know what? What would be the easiest way to offer myself? And I was like, right. Like we're doing a PT session. Like I'm not a doctor by any means and stuff like that. And how you deal with it. I mean, have you ever to go through that kind of thing yourself? Or
yeah, I've definitely had those levels of conversations. Like I've had a best mate go through that. So I'd kind of dealt with that on a very close basis from a younger age. Back when I was in Oz, when I was like 19, 20. So I was like kind of a bit of a talking, like I was kind of the first point of contact for somebody who was, to the point of writing letters and kind of,
oh, well,
I was the first person to be sent the letter, like kind of thing. So it was kind of like real serious. Thankfully, he kind of pulled through that and he's kind of, taken himself in a great direction now. But I've had people that I've worked with over the years kind of come to that level too. And it's tricky. Like people break down, the messages I've received outside of sessions. I had a client that I was just like, mate, if you're on the edge, just give me a call.
Yeah.
And like I'd copped multiple calls. Just say, hey bro, just want to have a chat. And I'd be a stupid hour of the night. I'd label them my contacts important.
Oh yeah.
Like as in like just heads up, like, we're giving them the extra mile. Cause like, I think when you're in this for the passion, you don't really notice that little bit of extra, I wouldn't say service. I would say it's a mandatory like human to human interaction. Like you just have to be there. But yeah, I think it gets pretty dark and it's hard. What's nice and rewarding is when you see those people come out the other side.
Yeah.
Usually it correlates with their confidence coming back. And that usually is because they've dropped 10. Their libido's back. They're performing a bit better. On the pitch and off the pitch, should we say? Like, so like.
You got your 7 misses.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
smiling.
You can actually hip thrust now. That's good. Because I don't know what you're doing for the last 20 years. So like little things like that, I think then you kind of go, okay, it was all worth it in the end. And I'm always, though, I think just the fine print would be I'm always quick to obviously try to get a professional involved if I feel like it's borderline.
Yeah.
But, thankfully I haven't had too many cases like that.
What about that when it comes to supplements? I mean, like your thoughts, your opinions on that supplements or be steroids usage to help you get there faster? Like, what are your thoughts on those?
So we'll start with supplements. From a supplement standpoint, I'm probably the worst trainer when it comes to supplements. Like, is in the sense that I've worked with trainers who've pushed so many supplements. I've tried to follow those protocols and I can't stand it.
Yeah.
To the point where I only really prescribe the basic foundational stacks. I work with one or two other key, I would say there's a doctor, a sports doctor. I work with a few different specialists that if I feel like someone needs something in depth, I'll recommend them to get their bloods done and then to go and actually see where they're deficient and what they should be taking. But alternatively, it's like everyone's got their basic stack of like vitamins and whatnot. From a supplement standpoint, I'll throw in, I think protein's always a good way to get your protein up. It's no magic trigger, as we know. Like it was often seen as one, especially in Lebanon. When I go to Lebanon, because I'm half Lebanese, I go to Lebanon, everyone's like, bro, are you on protein? And I'm like, what do you mean protein? Am I on protein? Like, proud of like the whey. And I was like, yeah, it's just protein, bro. Like it's literally like a meal, not somewhat to a degree, a meal replacement or a quick hit of protein. If you can't smash all that chicken in. So what are you guys on about? Like, I think it had a bit of a perception around, it's like your mum would, when you were growing up being like, Jace, get off the protein again. I'm like, mum, like relax. This is not why I've gotten jacked overnight. That's the trend or whatever it is, whatever it is. We won't joke about that, but I'll touch on the gear in a second. But it's like creatine was another one I'll throw in there. Protein. So literally protein powder, creatine and your basic sups and electrolyte of some kind, some form of hydration. And that's kind of my own real go-to for people.
Yeah.
I don't really back sending people a massive list of supplements to get stuck into. Their food's right. most cases you'll cover the bases.
Yeah.
So I think people get caught up on that side.
Like, I've got this thing too, but me personally is about sometimes you can get not addicted, but reliant on supplements as well. Like people are like, oh, I've got to have this in order to maintain my calorie deficit or maintain my current like a weight.
Yeah.
Like, would you recommend people use that or look for a way to supplement that, or just for a period of time? Like, say they're going for this transformation.
Yes.
So they're just in a transformation and then you're looking to knock it off later on, because you focus now on the 365, the whole year type thing, or the lifestyle. It's not 365. It's beyond that.
It's beyond,
But I mean, what's first of all ethos on it?
Yes.
And what do you help them do after the first transformation? What is the transition?
Yeah. So what will happen is when people start with us, we'll get all their basic levels up. So like I always recommend bloods. So I'm taking a blood test. I don't have a look through them. I have a professional that does that. They'll kind of then throw me some suggestions of what I think I should focus on from a vitamins. They'll prescribe the vitamins more or less. Like that's literally their department. I'll outsource that service. They'll kind of say, here, look, old mate's taking nothing. Let's get him on a multivitamin, some curcumin, fish oil, magnesium, bit of zinc, vitamin D. They're kind of your standard ones that are thrown around quite a lot. We'll throw them in. I think they're important initially on a transformation because we are in a bit of a deficit. So the immune system drops. People get sick in Dubai, especially like crazy. We're in the AC a lot. There's people from all over the world. Change the temps. We've got people coming in from every country every day, 1,000 times a day, really. So like I try to make sure the immune system's not compromised. And I think the other thing that we'll throw in is obviously utilizing protein, because like protein powders or bars sometimes, because people are people are busy. So it's kind of like, oh, I didn't do this, didn't do that. So I'm like, all right, how can we make it more convenient for you? So after that initial transformation, then I always, again, would be suggesting quarterly blood tests. Hopefully some of those levels are starting to balance out because the food's gotten better, less processed foods, less alcohol, more sleep.
Yeah.
Do we need to double down on all those vitamins again? Usually not. And then we can start to phase them out a little. And like, it's nothing worse than seeing someone who's like 20, and I've done it. Like you would have done it too, like where you're just taking 50 different pills and you're 20 and you're like, I don't need to be doing this now. But it was just, we just didn't know what we needed. And I think there's the placebo.
Yeah,
so if I didn't, it's like, in the morning, if I didn't take my fish oil or if my fat absorption,
like you literally got this line of pills. You even know a thing called USANA?
USANA.
This is years ago. It was like one of these pharmaceutical companies that gives you exactly what you needed for your day. You could pretty much live off pills.
This was like the Animal Stack. They had like a pack. It was like an Animal Stack had like a packet, and it was like everything in the one pack. It was like 50 pills, probably along the same lines.
It would have been the same lines. There was multiple companies at the same time, and then it was like, oh, okay. So had a moment of probably 5 months of going through that, and then snapped out of it. Like
in most cases, I've never really noticed that big of a difference when I've dropped off being in like this head of all these sups. And then I've stopped and I'm like, I'm actually fine. And I've done my bloods and everything's all right. So I think there's a time and place. Protein's my favorite. Creatine's my favorite. Like those two, I think are an essential for most of us who are training men or women, to be honest. Other than that, I don't really push too much. And hydration here, getting the electrolytes, especially here. So
what about the key, like on there with women and supplements? Because there's a lot of deficiencies for women in vitamins and minerals in their bodies, and then going through a transformation. Like one of the biggest, I suppose, changes for people in transformation comes from literally just changing the job and removing stress from their lifestyle.
Correct.
Like as soon as you do that, one of two things. One is they're not losing weight because there's still so much stress in the body that they can't do it. Then that's when you get the bloods and all that.
Correct.
The other side of it is once they do drop their stress, they change without even changing the diet sometimes.
Yes, that's right.
What about the females? Do you find with your female clients, how much of them are about like, oh, I've got to have this pill or that pill? Let's start with that, just because how addicted are they to nutrition? Because usually women are better with the nutrition.
Yeah, our female clients are usually a lot more switched on with their nutrition. Again, I find female clients come in with a lot more confusion around what they should be doing, as in they've heard so many different things. Whereas guys are kind of like, my mate told me to take this and take it.
Literally, right?
Yeah. And or like, whereas a female client will generally be like, I've heard this for this, and then I was told about this, and then I'm trying this, and I've done 6 weeks of that and 4 weeks of this, and nothing's working, or like, so we try to simplify it. And initially, like, obviously the biggest thing with our female clients is understanding their menstrual cycle. That I think that's imperative to a good transformation, because we can understand and obviously be a bit more compassionate with the hormone changes throughout that 4-week period. And like, I always say to our female clients, like, you're going to have one good week a month. where you feel optimal, where maybe your scale weight's a true representation of probably where you are, your body feels tight, your stomach feels good. Outside of that, we're kind of going to be battling some stormy weather. The conditions will be varying depending on the client, their age, and all that kind of stuff. So that's when then we'd look at supplementing different supplements in if they need. But again, I still try to say, look, let's just focus on your food. Let's hit your protein. Most females undereat on their protein anyway. That's a huge one. It's just trying to teach them that they need to be eating more protein. Again, I'm not like a protein junkie either. But it's just like, let's just hit the minimum requirement. Let's not go above and beyond. But then after that, it will be individualized.
What is your minimum requirement
for a female?
Protein.
So I usually try to prescribe.
Off?
Yeah, like I try to prescribe my female clients to be having a minimum of 100 grams a day. But I think that can be a struggle for a lot. So sometimes we'll start at 75. We've had people obviously feel kind of a little bit of a negative reaction to having high amounts of protein too. Their bodies just can't process it. They're not really used to it. We have a lot of different ethnicities as well. So, their diets may consist of, let's look at
plant-based or
let's look at our South Asian clients. So we work with a lot that are plant-based. So their protein are coming from other sources, which then we realize a lot of those sources are actually causing them to bloat and being completely inflamed. So it's trying to it's a bit of trial and error. So this is why in our first 14 day of our transformation, we do I would say it's a diet boot camp, but it's almost like an allergen deficient diet, if that makes sense. So basically we remove without doing intolerance tests or any of that stuff, I just go, let's remove the 8 most common inflammatory food groups, which is like your shellfish, nuts, gluten, dairy, alcohol, obviously. We get rid of soy, stuff like this. So it kind of sounds like there's nothing left, but more or less they're on a shake for brekkie, mid-morning some fruit and some eggs. Sometimes eggs can be in there as well, but I kind of keep them in. Lunch is protein veg salad, dinner's protein veg salad, bit of fruit in the afternoon. So it's like there's plenty of options still. But we just go, let's just remove all those little tricky sticky points. A lot of the time, people will drop a couple of kilos in the first week just from being less inflamed. Their stomach actually starts to fire. They realize oh shit, I'm not going to the bathroom so many times, or I'm actually going to the bathroom again. Something people don't realize. I've always had strange conversation. I always love when a client says to me, is it normal that I'm doing this, or I'm going more, or I'm going a bit less? And I'm like, this is probably, considering where you were, this is actually, we're moving in the right direction. Something wasn't working. After that 14-day period, then we reintroduce. I'm not somebody that tells people not to have any of those food groups. My philosophy isn't really around that. It's like what works for you. So let's reintroduce some things. What did you miss in the last 2 weeks? And people always say to me, rice. They'll say milk in my coffee. And then what can happen for some people is I added milk in my coffee and I literally was in the bathroom for an hour. I'm like, all right, you make the call. Maybe that's not probably sitting well with you. Did you love your coffee enough? Do you want to keep it in there? Keep it in.
Totally.
It's on you now, but you know how you feel without. So maybe we drop it to every second day, and maybe an Americano, then you have your cappuccino the second day. I'm not there to say them, no cappuccinos forever now. Because I feel like that's where you'll lose people after the transformation window. Where they just can't sustain it.
Totally.
So it works well when we reintroduce. I think I've gone a bit off topic here, but we reintroduce we reintroduce the foods after 14 days to almost the point where people can kind of have everything again. I'm just there to educate them on the quantities.
As I was say, what has changed then? Because it needs to be changed in order to be sustainable for long term.
It's the portions. That's where everyone's getting unstuck. If you look at most people, I always love the one, especially, and I'm half Lebanese, so I'll work with a lot of obviously Arabic clients. And I'm like, but I had Lebanese, it was fine. I had tabbouleh and chicken talk and some hummus. I'm like, I'm like, so from which restaurant here had it here? I ordered it in. Usually it's saturated in oil. Most times. Literally dripping. Like the tabbouleh sometimes they send, I love when I get delivered. It's like nice, clean, fresh bowl of parsley and tomato, more or less. And then there's this jar of olive oil. And I'm like, there's no way all of that should be in there. But most people will just crack the lid, pour it in. And you've got maybe 500 calories of olive oil in that.
Just in there.
So it's just educating.
I'll bring you another one later on if you want it to.
Exactly. So it's just education. And I think it's also crazy that people have to get to 30 and then actually have someone tell them or pay someone to tell them that this is what's going into your body. It should be in the education system. I've said this on different podcasts. I've said this anytime I really get to this topic. It's it should be in the education system somewhere where we should be learning this. Put me out of a job, but I think we'd be a better society for it.
100%. What about woman strength training? Where's your philosophies on strength training for women or the battle with women? I'm sure you you strength train women, right?
Yes,
you
definitely.
push that on them to strength
Big
train.
time.
Okay, good. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad I have to kick you out of
No,
those.
that's fundamental.
So then, where's the battles for you with women to strength train?
Yeah, so you've got the major misconception around women obviously being quite concerned about gaining muscle. Some women will build muscle easier than others. 90% won't. And it will take conscious, continuous effort to really gain any sort of like muscular shape or physique. And so I'll often always kind of say to my female clients, like, you won't end up there accidentally.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get 5 kilos down, you'll gain a little bit of muscle, you'll see yourself get a little stronger. And then we can review things like how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Generally, they'll be a lot more happier with the changes that they'll see. Females like to use the word toned.
Yeah.
You'll hear that often. And what a lot of people don't realize is toned literally just means more muscle, less fat. And that's kind of the look that they're associating with. Yeah, they're associating toning with that look. And literally what we need to do is actually lift weights. The benefits on hormones, the benefits on longevity, obviously fighting any sort of like medical conditions. The list goes on when it comes to
bone support,
correct
activity, society level, activity, blah, 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 blah.
You could literally go right on. Like, it's
going on
so
and on.
important. So for me, it's a must. And I try to really fight that stereotype. I love the one, I had a call with somebody the other day, and it was like, I'll always love especially in Dubai, you get the call where someone calls you to train them and then tells you how to train them. And I'm always like, all right, I'm just going to stop you there. Yeah, this is not how this works. But like, I love the one where it's like, my body wasn't designed to lift weights. It's like, my body's just not, it just doesn't lift weights. And I'm like, your body doesn't know anything about, it only knows what you're telling it and what your mind's telling it. Have you ever tried? No. Cool. But what do you want to see? I want to see more toning. I want to see my posture's bad, or I've got back pain. All right. Like, well, this is the answer. Do you want to do it or not? Let's give it a shot.
It's crazy that like how people want to do transformation or they don't like, not necessarily don't accept what they are, but like, you look the way you look because of the way you live. As simple as that. Like, because if you haven't lifted weights or it doesn't fit you, it's because you haven't done it.
Yes.
Or you haven't done it right. Or like that way, it blows my mind.
I'll have people say to me, like, they'll show me a picture, like, can I look like this? Like, I want to look like this, or this is my transformation goal. Can I look like this? My answer is always yes. What are you prepared to do? Okay, you showed me Dwayne Johnson. All right. We need to train 4 a.m. every morning. You've got extreme amounts of good genetics. You've got a family history of good genetics. Maybe dabbling in a bit of the dark arts here and there, maybe not. But
train for 30 years.
Train for 30 years. What are you prepared to do to get there?
Yeah.
Okay, so can it be possible? Yes.
Yes.
There's a road though. And that's my job to then set that expectation again and say, cool, let's drop it back a few rungs. But I think everyone has the potential to change themselves however they really want. It just comes down to like what's realistic, what will fit in with their lifestyle, their values.
How can we deal with expectations? Because that's the biggest thing. When you talk about, you got 14 days, your first, what's the next stage after that? Or when you got to go into this lifestyle, away from the transformation and into lifestyle?
It's funny you say that because I think we had a bit of a learning curve this year at 365. We were off the back of two, without trying to plug us. We were off the back of
plug
two.
away, bro. It's all good. I'm going to plug you anyway, mate. We spoke
about this at the start. I don't want to be that guy. But it's a good personal
365, check it out.
It's a good personal experience. We came off the back of two, what we call our cover model challenge.
Yeah.
So basically the focus is body transformation. So it's like get in the best shape yet, get on the cover of a magazine. We're going to put you there. How does Chris Hemsworth look so good on the front of the magazine? Well, he's literally eaten fish and cucumbers for the last 7 days. We do that. So that people then, we book them a photo shoot, they take the shots, they look incredible. Well, then this expectation becomes real. Because it's like, well, then they know because they're like, hang on, so you're telling me all those years that I've looked at Chris Hemsworth in that movie and wanted to look like him, that he pumped up 20 reps before the set, had a tan, he didn't drink water for 48 hours, and he cut cucumber and chicken. He ate chicken and fish for days. Like, yeah, now you know. So it's actually, I felt like it's worked really well with our team for the bounce back because they don't feel so bad. They go, oh, okay, so I'll just add in a few more of my things. I'll have my water, whatever. They go back up a couple of %. So it was hard initially for some to actually make them feel okay with that, that you can't maintain that cover model look all year round. But then it actually sets them up for a really positive experience with going, okay, now I know what I'm seeing out there in social media. When you see trainers who have done one photo shoot, post the same photo every few days, and people think old mate's living shredded.
Few years, I get the same photo.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, how's he shredded all year round? I was like, no, he just did a lot of shots, and now he just keeps rolling them out. So people kind of, it gives them a really in-person experience of the misconceptions out there or the like misinformation. The second thing that I was kind of tying into is that what we realized is when we did the cover shoot, we had so much more intensity around one focus, which was drop. So we've come into this year we started with a strength phase because I wanted to push our cover model post Ramadan because Ramadan was earlier. So I felt like we just wanted to change the focus point. And we did one just before Christmas. So we needed to kind of do a deload, a refeed phase, a reverse diet phase, I should say. So a lot of people actually they felt a bit lost because they kind of only really got used to this like really intense, aggressive kind of transformation. So it was a great learning curve for us and it was a great experience to go, actually, guys, we need to reset that expectation for everyone now that it's okay to be in this muscle building phase. You can eat more. We're going to get stronger. And now we're just about to finish that phase. Everyone's feeling really good. And we've got a lot more muscle tissue on the body. People have been enjoying iftars all through the month. Now we'll start to go through this. So I try to show people that it's seasonal and that like, even though we're 365 days and I like that lifestyle approach, it's like we do break it up into phases. It has to. It just has to.
Literally.
Like you can't just coast on the same program with the same food all year. One, you won't maintain a shredded physique. You'll burn out and your stress will start to skyrocket. And on the flip side of that, you just keep eating and don't train and you're going to end up in the same spot anyway. So
it's been a cycle for a lot of people too, right? They end up going back around. That's really interesting if you do the way you approach that way because there's a lot of, what do you put this? The mentality or the psychological side of this as well with the transformations can be a bit of a roller coaster up and down. Yeah, great one day, bad the next day. Oh, I've lost weight, I've put on weight, or I'm strength training, but I'm getting fatter. What's going on? Type of thing. There's always these continuous battles they keep going on. And it's good you said about the Chris Hemsworth because they did it, I think I saw about a month ago. They had the Superman and Hugh Jackman with Wolverine.
Yes.
They're all going through the same things and they had a bit more showing that this is why they do preparing. Or some of them knew like 2 or 3 months in advance. Preparing for that one shot because they had to be a shirt off kind of shot.
I feel like Hugh Jackman's always been a good representation of being real because he's always got himself in insane shape. PEDs aside, whether he's jumped on anything or not. Me, I don't really judge that side of the world it's your choice. But he was really quite good to answer the questions of the people, which were, how did you get in this shape? And he'd be like, look, it was literally this. I looked at like it for this amount of days and then it was back to reality. So I think it's also needs to be led from the top. And that comes back to us as trainers to be a little bit more real. I think trainers try to look like they're actually perfect. And that they're kind of these superhuman individuals. And I think as soon as you, as a trainer, show that you're just normal, we're
going to go a bit off topic here because you're about to touch something that I already had on. Because in a lot of social media, people listening and watching this, the trainers will do like 3 reps of these big, incredible, whatever they are, lifts or movements and stuff like that to sell you. Or they'll, like you said, get that pump. They've just done a workout. And they'll put it on social media, and that's the only ones they show. Or they'll do their thing, and they go have a cigarette and they drink some alcohol straight afterwards as well. You know what I mean? So people are being sold. What are your feelings on that?
Yeah, it totally go against how I show myself on socials, and I think sometimes it's hard to really be real. Like you do have the insecurities of feeling like you need to show a certain expectation. But I think over the course of my career, the more I've just leveled myself as being just an average Joe, because ultimately I am. People,
we all are.
Our general population clients, you would have this. They see you as Superman. They see you as somebody that one is kind of unattainable. And I mean, as nice as it is sometimes to feel that way and to go, oh, thanks guys, like I appreciate it. It isn't truth. And we do have the same insecurities and the same flaws and the same issues. When you show people that, like one, your connection's huge. They straight away the trust and the respect and
I have this trouble with coaching trainers on exactly that. Like you need to be real because you're dealing with real people. They want to get out of their space into this space and they think it's unobtainable. But as soon as you bring out that real world stuff of yourself, whether it be mental or physical, actually it's attainable. That's all I have to do. Okay, now I know how to apply myself.
And the results then just skyrocket because they can see that you're a normal person and you can, look, there's times where I've had clients go, how you're barely sleeping, you train. I'm like, because now I'm in a phase. Like this phase now is like work's just happened to get busy and I'm doing a photo shoot. Because, I need to get some promo material for you guys. I'm going to get lean.
They give you some free.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait in.
Yeah, exactly. like I need to get laid or whatever it might be, like, whatever your purpose is.
Yeah.
There is a period where, yes, I will show intensity. And as long as you're showcasing that this is a period in time,
Yeah.
but then I'll fall back to just being kind of the average Joe. Like,
But we all go through those seasons.
yeah, like
We
even
all
if
go
I have
through.
a drink or like I'll post like, post when I'm eating on a Friday night or people just like are so like, how are you doing that? How are you like, there's this pressure. I can see why some people just some trainers feel like they just need to be perfect because sometimes you do get a bit of backlash, like from your audience. They're a bit like, you should be leading by example. I'm like, I agree, but I'm also human. And there's a point where my community.
I want to break that up because talk about transformation. Everyone goes on the six pack, the abs, the rip, the muscle, the bulge, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's about, well, actually, the fakeness that's put out there, the obtainable, unobtainable, like they're going to see you eventually.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, why aren't you
Yeah.
big anymore? Why aren't you ripped and lean anymore?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of trainers out there that actually get caught out and then they're not in the industry for very long.
Yeah, heaps. Well, they just lose their integrity, don't they? Like that they're kind of not really practicing what they preach and they're kind of, selling people a bit of a lie, more or less. And I think, I still believe a trainer should be in some relative form of shape. Do we as trainers go through emotional struggles? Yes. Are there periods where our food will be shit and our training will be shit? Yeah, 100%. But I do think we have a responsibility to come back to at least some form of like,
Baseline.
there is a baseline.
Yeah.
Because, I've seen and you would have seen this too. I've seen a client with a stomach, a trainer with a stomach twice the size of his client. I know the trainer. I know he's not really invested in the job. I know he's probably not experienced as he should be. Probably not the right place for him, to be fair. We can give him benefit of the doubt. So I know it's not like a circumstance because sometimes circumstances can make it hard for us. We're humans too. But I think when you see someone who's just kind of lazy and not in the industry for the right reasons, that's where we kind of need to draw the line. So I think there is a lot of merit in us looking a certain way, there's always that happy medium. But I think if your trainer's not able to get into some pretty incredible condition, if that's what you're looking for, I don't know if they're going to be the trainer that will get you there. And I've had mates who are uni whizzes, sports science degrees, incredibly smart. I kind of didn't come through a heavily university background. Mine was very much applied on the floor. Lots of certifications and different diplomas here and there, but I wasn't like a university bookworm.
I wasn't bachelor's or anything like that.
Yeah, so a lot of my experiences come from the floor and like mentoring and applying all the knowledge into like actual real people.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you start to really see, the results kind of happen is when it's just through experiences.
Yeah, most of it. Let's go back to the transformation side of things because it's a stigma. It's still being sold out there with the abs and stuff like that. When it comes to muscle, what is a realistic expectation then? Muscle growth, fat loss.
Yeah. In 12 weeks.
Let's put 12 weeks time frame.
Yeah. So again, I think the numbers purely individual. We spoke about me not sitting on the fence today. So to try to not just go, oh, it's all depends.
Pull out your dong, mate.
Yeah. So look, I think in 10 weeks, if I look at the track record of what we've produced, I've had a large number of people drop 10 kilos minimum. Most people come to a trainer and they have 10 kilos to go. Most people. Like they'll walk in the door and there's 10 kilos there. For some, it'll put them in a I guess skinnier state than they probably thought. But initially for that transformation photo, you actually have to be a lot leaner than you think to really like, if you want to see that before and after, if you want to see the line striations and the abs. So most people coming in, I think 10 kilos is a realistic expectation for your like general population person, what you could achieve in 12 weeks with obviously sacrifice and dedication and the right guidance.
Yeah.
So 10 kilos, I think you can see from a muscle tissue gaining perspective. We know that, if you're new to fitness, you will see some sort of tissue development. Yep. If you're conditioned in strength training, you may not actually build too much tissue in that time. Depends on the programming, but I think a lot of it is just muscle retention. Is like, can we savor as much of the tissue that you have, drop as much fat? This is a deficit phase.
Literally.
Then we'll have a look at how you look, and then usually the reverse diet is where the muscle's built. So this is good that you said that because a lot of people expect to come in to their first transformation and look like the Hulk. and be ripped and massive. Let's talk about guys. Obviously, females.
It's been sold as well, right?
Yeah. So, maybe your trainers posted him looking shredded and jacked.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is my 12-week transformation. Well, your trainer's done about 15 transformations over the last 30 years. So every time he's done one, he's dropped down, built a bit of tissue, or he's just done a good cycle.
Yeah.
But like, it's usually like, let's keep the integrity up there. Like, I mean, we'll be honest.
If you don't want to.
Yeah. Like, let's be honest. But like, it's usually going to be layering that transformation from year to year to year to year. So for a lot of people, I'm straight away like, look, you're not going to fill out your large t-shirt in this next 12 weeks. Are you going to fit your pants size 32? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
100%. Yeah. Happy days. You can throw out your extra large t-shirt, but will you fill out the large and look like, a chiseled Jared Butler? Probably not yet.
Yeah.
So there's an expectation there to set that. I think you have to be straight with that.
Well, it's crazy in my mind when people think about this stuff, because in the day, why is everyone so fixated on the aesthetics when they're actually doing it for the psychology of it all?
Correct.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
So the years later, they didn't get in here to look for some reason. They just like pick up their woman, they get laid, or they go find himself in a more of an alpha situation with a circle of friends, or that's on the sports field. They want to dominate. That's what they're actually doing it for. They're not actually doing it for the aesthetics. Where you noticing like it kicks in from, or where are they losing themselves in a way? Losing themselves from when I first came in here to my, I suppose, I don't say moral reason, but maybe it is their moral reason. I don't know. And then they get lost in this whole, oh man, I just want to get leaner and get some abs so that I can walk confidently with my shirt off or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it can be the culture they're in, that environment. Like, because we're doing like small group stuff. When we did our cover model challenge, we had a lot of our guys all competing, or not, but they're all like participating in our last cover model shoot. And what I found is that when we put especially a group of guys together, it did very quickly turn very superficial. Like, and then we had the insecurities come in. I was like, oh, he's got abs and my abs aren't there. I'm like, I'm not sure. Like, am I ready for this? And I'm like, but no, let's look at the bigger picture. You've reconnected with your daughter because now you feel better about yourself. You're going out every week and socializing. Your clothes fit better. You've got now a new authority at work because people are seeing you as a more energetic character. So it's like, when that environment is not really conducive or like a bit testosterone filled. Not saying our environment was bad, but it's just when you get a group of guys together, it very quickly turns to the ab show. Like, who's got the abs? Like, it's
who's
like
got the shoulders? Who's got the chest?
Like you go into the change room and you don't even know half the blokes in there, and they'll go, "Oh mate, you're looking ripped," and you get that once, and then you go, "Oh shit!" Like, that's why that person spoke to me, is because I was leaner.
Yeah.
I think there's some solid stats. I don't know them, but there's some solid stats about women not really giving a shit about abs.
They don't.
Yeah, it's like
they don't care about muscles either.
Yeah, so it's
but guys are trying to get this muscle, shoulder,
correct.
Ripped, and
it's usually the other. It's usually I think I've seen a few videos on this, but it's usually the guys that are complimenting the guys on how they look. Literally. And then you're kind of like, hey,
okay, way more compliments from males.
This is not what I had in mind, but this is not like, or it's the opposite.
Oh, you'll do. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the opposite genders will usually. It's not really going the way you intended. But I think, to answer your question, I think the environment's key.
Yeah.
If the right environment's there, and our environment is very like lifestyle based. So we are looking at other metrics outside of the physical, and that kind of needs to be led from the front with your coach. If they're not telling you need to have abs, like I hate seeing trainers lift up their shirt to show their client.
In the world ever.
It's like 6 a.m. Old mate Bob's there. He's 40 kilos overweight, just happy to fucking get to the gym, ready to do his press. And his trainer's got his shirt up, and he's just like flexing his abs in the mirror. He's like, oh, and he's just sitting there, and I'm watching this being like, he doesn't give a about your abs. It has no relation to him at all. He's never seen that. He's not going to see that for at least another 20 weeks minimum, if not a year. Where's that, like, what type of message are you sending to that person in that moment? So yeah, we see this a lot. So I think, to answer your question, environment is key. Environment, and that comes from the coach.
Because the other side of it too, when you talked about this with males, like they're thinking they need the muscles, but they need to be lean.
Yeah.
There are some, like, look, we're not saying that this all fits in the same shoe, but there is definitely the majority of women that are about the connection point.
Correct.
Like, they want, like, there is a woman, they want a leader, or they want security and support. Yes, there is. On the flip side, when I've had a couple of guys talk about this for the last couple of weeks, that they get to their point of lean, muscular space, and they feel like they couldn't pick up women anymore than
Yeah,
than
they're so
when they were
depleted.
fatter, you know,
Yeah,
or they
yeah.
found it easier because they didn't think they could get them in the first place, and they were just like,
Yes.
oh well, and then have a chat, and then like, oh, they ended up doing it, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, that's right. There was no expectation. They didn't think they were gonna pull, so it didn't matter, so they had a shot. Yeah,
It's
yeah, I
like
like
didn't
that.
work out any different, bro. What's
Yeah, 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 I like that. No, I agree 100%.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
because women have that same thing, or even women when it comes to the strength side of things. And this is
Yes.
another one I'm hearing too. Like women are like going, I need to be skinny. There's so many guys that don't like skinny women,
Yes, that's
especially
right.
guys around the fitness space. They
Yes.
like an athletic, so
Yes.
a woman that can just move or do something. And someone's coordinated as
You
well.
know what I find the most attractive feature of a woman without going down this road is posture.
Mm,
It sounds stupid,
confidence.
but like confidence, but even go back a rung, literally shoulders back.
Mm,
Like nothing for me, I find will catch my eye more than some like a woman, even a bloke, like from the perspective of it shows an authoritative figure or a confident
confident,
presence.
yeah, yeah.
Like your eye does attract, whether it's just noticing or obviously if in my case a female, you'll go, oh wow, she looks like I
Mm-hmm,
can just whether you'll comment further.
mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go further than that. I'm saying my eyes have gone in that direction initially because I've just noticed a strong like posture,
Strong,
like or a confident posture.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that comes from strength training. And I think,
Literally.
that's such a simple and you can pick up really good postural improvements in
Mm-hmm,
12 weeks.
mm-hmm.
Like, from a postural perspective, you can
And look
really,
silly different as well, right? When you do this,
yeah, big time. And like, even posture for guys, they'll sit like this. I'm like, oh, I've got my man boobs. I'm like, all right, pull your shoulders back. And they're like, oh, I'm like, a bit less. And I was like, yeah. He's like, well, let's focus on that. And already now your chest is a couple inches bigger and you look a couple inches
South
taller.
Durham's.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, give me that money.
Pay me, mate.
Yeah, exactly. So I think posture is important. And I think, yeah, tying back to what you said, I think like, it's just having an awareness around that too.
Mm-hmm. The incorrect way to
Yeah.
the scene, both
Yeah. But
sides of the.
we just, I think people just expect, people shouldn't be doing it for others.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time they are, especially when it's in transformations. And I think what people don't realize is, and we try to tell people this, I try to tell people when I've got my busy executives, etc.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you are working so hard, or you're doing all of these things, neglecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But at the moment, if you look back, who's really suffering?
Yeah.
And it is the people that they want to care for the most. Like ultimately, I'm like, you need to put yourself first
Yeah.
to be able to actually then give back to the people that you care about. So,
And if you truly mean it, then do it.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like rock up, get out of bed, do it.
Yeah, yeah.
And, they'll be thinking, like, especially when I love it when like, I've been with a client when his daughter comes over and it's like, oh, my dad looks like Superman now, or he looks so good. Like I was saying to you, on the flip side to that, when the kids see their parents in this like good shape or this healthy lifestyle, I think it's a really positive place. And that's
massively.
That's where people go, okay, that was worth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that was worth 12 weeks of dedication.
And then wanting to continue it on
Correct.
after
Yeah,
that
not
as
lose
well.
it.
Right. That's
Correct.
the side of it as well. I do want to touch on that part where you just brought up, because there is the mentality, psychology. I'm trying to think of it. As far as for a better way of life, we get to this point, okay, look, if you've got bigger shoulders, if you've got bigger muscles, if you're leaner, if you've gone to the photo shoot, you've done this part. It's the confidence, the self-esteem, the abilities to potentially free yourself from this mental prison of, I didn't go for that job, I didn't go for that, I didn't ask that woman out or something like that, or I didn't do the travel or the adventure that comes out of it. And it's easy enough to say, well, you need to do it, bro. You need to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like telling someone to stop smoking.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it's, what is this? For someone's listening right now, what's your kind of your go-to personally for you, or that you would look to try and instill? How, like something more specific, maybe that how you're instilling this mindset change in somebody to go, hey, mate, you literally need to take this seriously. Do you feel you have to go deep, or I don't know? Like I don't want to put words in your mouth, either.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, what's your thing for getting this mindset change? What's the actual something applicable? Someone go like, mate, write it. Is it write it down? Is it affirmation? Is it just look in the mirror? Is it give us your real reason why?
Why? I think it starts with like first setting the tone, which for me, I always try to have that initial conversation with thinking that we should be as limitless as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So what that means is if generally somebody is completely out of shape, they're being limited in some way, somewhere in their life, that's then caused them to call me.
Mm-hmm.
Limited in the bedroom, limited picking their kids up, or running around the park with their kids, limited in feeling like they have an authoritative kind of personality in their workplace, or they're perhaps bullied, limited, ways of kind of advancing in their social groups around their peers or whatever it might be. So there's some sort of limitation. I always try to sell it on the point of going, well, what would it be like to just have no limitations? So you could just run the park, you take the stairs, you could hop on that flight to Bali, do a Muay Thai camp for 7 days. You could take your kids hiking. You could pick up any girl, or you'd be confident in yourself to go and have a chat to anyone in the bar. Like, how would you feel now? Like, and I try to get them to kind of envision that place.
Yeah, okay.
And I was in kind of like, it's like, as superficial it sounds, in 12 weeks, you can really start to notice a lot less limitations. And that's kind of where then we'll start to set expectations each week. And it's like, did you notice this week?
Like,
have you noticed this week?
Yeah.
And sometimes I won't even ask, and they'll come to me and say, bro, this week was the week that I stayed in the park for half an hour longer today.
Yeah.
Felt good. Like, actually my son I caught him today, like whatever it is. Like, so I like them to start to feel this limitless feeling. Cause I think I like to think I feel it, because like what I would judge my limitations are probably going to be less than, I'm probably going to be more limitless than my client because of like my fitness and what, in whatever they would, in our level perception of limitations, trying to not confuse myself here, I could do more than them initially when it comes, especially physicalities.
Yeah.
Or if we look aside from their careers and their workplace and their expertise, we're looking at just two people that have limitations of physicality or like their mindset, their strength perhaps around to handle challenging environments. A lot of that can come from doing a successful transformation. So it's can you show someone that there's limitations that are there for you to be unlocked if you go through this transformation? And I think when people go through transformation after transformation, they do start to feel like limitless. And there's nothing they can't really do because they've stuck to that diet. They've turned up to the gym every day at 6. They've said no to their mates when they've been out saying, hey, I'm on a bit of a plan at the moment. So then when these other things get thrown at them in life, they can see the benefit. And that's when then it becomes a lot easier to kind of, I don't need to say to them, do they need affirmations or this or that? They're getting real first-hand experience.
Take accountability to themselves.
Yeah, they feel the accountability there. And I think that's what keeps them going. Because there's a point where I can't be in someone's ear forever.
Also, I mean, like, because there's also a development process, or there's a progressive progress as well. Like, at the first, it seems like you're spitting ideas out to them to trigger somewhere, and then you kind of backing off over the weeks, so they kind of take their control.
They start to take the reins. And that's the best part. And I think that's why I love 365 days, because I think we can cover most of life's circumstances in that period. Bad relationship, it's now affected my training, not turned up for 2 weeks. Cool, what can we do? Right, let's just tape it back. You're going to go for a walk every night so you can mull over what's going on at home, but you're still getting your steps sorted. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Come back into the program when you're ready. Because we have a bit of a revolving door where people jump out and jump back in. Like, I like that. I always hated when people would have that awkward conversation with their trainer. I was like, I think it's time to, I don't know if it's still for me. Like, and when that kind of gets to me where I see someone kind of tap out a bit, I don't expect to hold on to them forever. I'm kind of like, that's all right, mate. No worries. This is a welcoming environment for you. When you feel you're ready, to come back. They always come back because I've left that door open, and they know like fitness is just kind of like all the other things in life. Like there would be points of
seasons.
There'll be seasons of really great consistency, and there'll be seasons where it isn't as consistent. But if it can at least be something and still present, then I've done my job. Like if their less consistent period is still a walk every day, when before it just was a bender, I'm happy. Job done. I'll see you in 6 weeks when you want to push again. So I kind of like, I think when you go with someone over that longer term journey, that's when the magic truly happens. That's when you unlock the doors, So yeah.
Well, at the other end of the spectrum, we're going like, okay, they're in a space. They've changed their life. They've got their 365 or their 730 days, how we want to look at it, or they're in that space, and it's just about, do you feel that people need another goal, another level? Like once they've got to A and it's a year or two later, it's like, do they need something else? Or is it about maintaining, or is it about?
Depends on the person. Like,
what did you feel then when you went like?
I'm an ambitious person in stages at different points. Like right now I'm coasting with my fitness. I'm ambitious in other areas, i.e. my career at the moment. That's where my focus is. But my fitness at the moment is I'm not trying to run high rocks sub X amount. I'm not even entering that high rocks. Like, as in,
not do the sub 1 hour.
Yeah. Like, I might give it a shot this week. Give it a nudge.
But is spare ticket.
Yeah, can we just plug that in? I'll endorse your company.
Ben, you there, mate?
Yeah. But is in literally like for me, it's like at the moment, I'm just coasting. Simple as that. I'm just turning up to my training. It's keeping my headspace in check to help me then progress in where my ambition is at the moment is in my career. There's been periods last year where my ambition was a cover model challenge. So I was focused on a very dialed in target, and that's okay. So I think it kind of comes down to like where you are at different points. I think I've lost your question slightly. What was the question exactly? See, this is what happens, bro. I start talking.
So passionate though, bro.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I just wanted that ticket. I couldn't stop thinking about that free ticket.
I'll reach out to those guys.
Yeah, what was it?
So, because like people get to the point of, hey, I've got there. I've achieved my aesthetic look.
Yeah, awesome.
My performance-wise, I can now I'm a better footballer, I'm a better rugby player, whatever I am. And
yeah, I wanted to answer it because it was good. Because the reason I was kind of using myself as an example is I do have people that need a goal all the time. Like there are people who just cannot function. If they don't have a goal, they feel like they're a failure. I do try to tell them it's okay to have a period without, but even these people sometimes, and they're different characters, and there's different studies on types of characters and personalities and whatever.
These profile,
these type of people, they need something. And so one of my guys, his target literally last 6 months of last year, we had heavy physical and performance-based targets. Because of that, he got a few niggles here and there. So literally this last 3 months, I'm like, bro, your target now, because he needed a target. I was like, because I couldn't just say to him, bro, just take it easy, drop off, attend the sessions, and we'll review in 3 months when we go into our next cover. He needed something. So I said, all right, you're going to do one session with your physio weekly or with your sports therapist. Then you're going to have 3 days a week where you're doing your massage rehab. Yeah. And our target is to be able to get you to run 3Ks without having any shin pain. Like, now that was kind of, I could have said to someone else, let's just taper back on things and just do your rehab and happy days. He needed to see in the diary, I'm going to attempt my 5K on this date because I've successfully then completed my 3 sessions of rehab a week with my 1 physio session a week. Yep. He needed that. If I didn't give it to him, he would have felt like he's not going anywhere. So I think you find the people that need it. And I've had clients with me, most of my crew now, thankfully, love you guys, have been with me for years on years on years. They've completed 365 days times 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So it is challenging as a trainer sometimes to actually kind of go, all right, like, because I sit with them and go, all right, where is our focus at now? And it will sometimes dabble in performance. It'll come back to physicality. Sometimes it will come back to just consistency. So it's a tricky one. I think it's individual.
Massively. I mean, it does become individual.
It'll change as life changes too.
Some people need the lighthouse.
Yes.
Point them in that direction, go there. See, what I'm very much of like, I enjoy the journey. Like, I know it's the kind of cliche thing, but I enjoy doing that fitness in the morning because it lets me up. Like, I split everything to my day. If I don't have a good day, then I'm not going to have a good life because your life is made up of days, and it's only the whole weeks and month thing for me is, and it's not anything recent, but it's just that I want to laugh. I want to do good fitness. I want to be progressive. I want to learn on a day.
Amazing.
I'll put that's my thing, right? Yes. And so when it comes to training, what I change is that I might be a little more strength oriented, like this season, or it might be. I went through the start of the year. I literally just did 54 days of running every day. That was just something different, like because I was like, oh, cool. And someone told me about a challenge, and I was like, oh, give it a go.
Give it a shot.
So, and then that's what I did.
How
right?
far were you doing daily?
So I did the whole 1K on the first day. 2K for 2 days, 3Ks for 3 days, 4Ks for 4 days, 5Ks for 5 days, 6Ks for 6, 7 for 7, 8 for 8, 9 for 9, 10 for 10.
Okay, nice.
So it finished on the 24th
10 for 10 is decent. Like, you'll feel it, but you've got a background in it.
I've got a background. Well, so I went through dark patches and I was also from a point of, I didn't save myself just for that. I ended up going for a couple of 21s, and I was supposed to do 7K. I ended up playing in a sports tournament where I ran into the 10K in the middle of it.
Yes.
I did some other big workout like I shouldn't have been doing, and then it like really put me on the back foot.
Yes.
So there's a couple of days I had to go through a recovery period. Oh, the Burge was on, so I did a 21K, and I was supposed to do like an 8K or something like that.
Yeah.
And so but yeah, I've got a background anyway.
Okay.
But it was more that I just wanted to prove I get my fitness back up, and I just wanted to go through it and get the experience of doing this challenge because someone else was doing the same thing, but from 5 days or 5Ks for 5 days up to 10. Yes. But they have breaks somewhere between.
Okay.
And like, this is what I always like to tell people as well. Like, when it comes to aesthetics or it comes to performance, you're never going to be the best It's for a moment. And you're never going to be the worst. There's always going to be someone worse. There's always going to be someone better than
it's
you,
real good.
in some other moments. So what you do, and that's why I come back to the journey, is like,
Yes.
look, I ran for whatever it was, 54 days or
Yes.
55 days, sorry. Enjoyed that, whatever. And I was saying, I actually got to the end of this and I was like, okay, yep. What's next? It was like, because I got to the point of, no, I'm going to do this. It was just a way of life. It was running each day just became a way of life type of thing. But again, what you're saying, based on the same thing, it's seasonal. I understand. Some days I was stronger before, and now I'm fitter here, and I was stronger again, and it's fine.
Yeah.
One of the last things I really want to touch on is the peer pressure side when it comes to transformations. When people go through the whole, like you're saying a little bit earlier, about the alcohol or the going out with friends and stuff like that. Do you believe people need to change their friends group, or will their friends group change?
I think the friends group naturally does change, unfortunately, to some degree, or maybe they're friends for a certain time.
I think you've got to change your friends. I think I get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's harsh, but
look, I don't want to come in and say that to them at the time, but I think it happens.
Yeah,
and like, you're right. Like, if you were to actually review, like, how can I be optimal with this next 12 weeks? Well, my 6 best mates are out every night. I probably need to ditch them.
Yeah.
That is probably the reality, like you're saying. As simple as that.
Stop beating around the bush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. So I love that approach as well. I sometimes like people to experience it rather than they kind of probably hold it against me a little bit, or like
go learn for themselves.
Like sometimes they'll, it's like you don't want to be the reason that they look back and say, oh, it's because of you that I lost my mates. Like, I'm not saying it like that. It's a bit dramatic. But I mean, like, if they start to realize, oh, you know what? Bob's he's not really giving me any good, I don't know who Bob is, but he's not, I know a few Bobs actually. It's not any of you guys. But a name pops in my head. They start to think, oh, you know what? Like, he's not really said, well done. He's not really said, oh, good luck for your shoot tomorrow. He's kind of not really given me any sort of support. But then this guy that I met at the gym every day says, oh, mate, how you tracking? How you going? And then, why don't I go for him for a run at Kite Beach? And all of a sudden they're best mates. And then so you kind of just fall into that new social circle where hopefully you're not having negative peer pressure, because we know that is a really hard and difficult place to be. It's even harder if it's your missus or your husband, family, in whatever case, your family members, your parents. That's a really hard one. So like, I always love when I have a couple come in. I feel like that's the best. They're usually the best time we get we've got heaps of couples that train with us. Usually starts with one of them, and they usually tend to swing the other one in, and then the results have really become like foundational, and then almost insights improve and the whole family kind of changes. I love that.
Yeah. I think it's kind of essential, to be honest.
Yes.
I think you've got to get your partner involved. There's no point in you coming in here doing this and your wife or husband, whatever, sits back with this old lifestyle. And then
it doesn't usually last, and they'll either end up, relationship will be on the rocks, or they just won't train with me anymore. The results will kind of fizzle out. So the peer pressure is super, super important. What I've always loved to see, and this goes for a lot of different fitness communities out there across Dubai, is like, you'll actually kind of start to become friends with your fitness circle. Yeah. So your best mates will actually just become, and this happened in my group, literally best friends, inseparable, because they met in my sessions. I don't even think they renew for me anymore. I literally, like, I think there's a point where they're just like, oh, I just want to keep training with my best mate. So like, they don't give a shit about me. Like, and I actually don't mind it. Like,
Jason,
I'm like, like, who are you again? Like, I just came this morning to see my best mate. And I actually love that. Like, for me, it's like, I think that it keeps people coming back. So if you've got that positive environment, and I think health and fitness needs that positivity.
I think there's a connection. Like, that's the whole point of finding a new way of life, to find new connections with people that are more like-minded at a lot of interests.
Yes.
And I think that's where it comes down to. I think people are far too comfortable. They settle for mediocre. They settle for okay. Yeah. They settle for, it's fine. There's nothing broken.
Yes.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with going for something better either.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Correct. Like, this is where I think the trap really is for people. That's their comfort zone. And it's about pushing through that comfort zone. It is uncomfortable sometimes to be, to be honest, within this position we are. We are fit, we are healthy, we're athletic, but, we've also got to create a lifestyle to get there. But then it takes hard work, it takes dedication, and to be able to get there and then to maintain it. Yeah. And I suppose the whole cliche, if it was easy, everyone would do it.
Correct.
So, if you want to be, I don't say it is mediocre. If you want to be mediocre, that's your choice. If you're happy, whatever. I personally don't want to be around that space. I want to be encouraged to be aggressive, to move forward and up. And I
Yes.
think you got to find the like-minded people
Yes.
in order to achieve that, and especially in order to maintain that. You know, because
There's a big correlation though between high performers in across all areas and fitness, right? You would say.
massive. I do 100%.
Yeah.
Like you get drawn. This energy is different. Like mentality is different, and people like you hear this one all the time. And you talk about family and stuff. You hear this thing of like, and I was literally talking about this maybe today or yesterday, and because of the culture of New Zealand, like you'd go out to a social and there would be a dessert, there'd be chips, there might be lollies, there might be soft drinks, there might be the drink or something like that. And everyone's just, hey, just have one, just have one. Don't want to, just and then it's just not normal for them. And so that's why the whole, not that anyone's a bad person, it's just a different personality type. They want things for themselves. I want things for myself. So it leads to a space of, look, I love the progression. I want to be around people that want to progress because the mindset's there, the interests are there as well. That's why I find the other things that you get into. It's like, so when it comes to transformation, that's what I think the real power is that this is a kickstart to get you into a direction you really ultimately going to go. And that can lead to so many different things as far as your life and career, your partnerships, your relationships and everything else like that, your way of life.
Yes.
Yeah. Me personally, I'm just not a believer in mediocre as far as like, I've got one chance to kind of live in the way, and I just want to be the best person I can.
You can be.
And I'll be me, and that's what I'm going to be. So anyway, kind of, but I see
that's an integral part to like a transformation though. You weren't always like that. There would have been some point where some change happened, right?
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still learnings to continue.
Yes.
There's always more levels to go up to, whether you think of it from a business point of view or physical point of view, because there's always going to be someone the same age who's physically fitter. That group gets smaller and smaller, so it's harder to find, but they're out there, but I can 100% know there's someone at my age around my same space and be like, well, actually, I want a bit more like that, even though I am where I am. So it's, but I see, and that's what actually kind of, I don't want to flip around on the back there, but the transformation side of things, I see it as super important. I see it's marketed in a different way now, and I don't like that, to be honest, but I do see it as the kickstart or that some people need that. Okay, let's turn your world upside down. Let's do this 14 days, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 24 weeks, or whatever it is. But it is very mindful of that. That's not the end goal. In fact, I'm in a place where I wouldn't want to train someone who's not looking past that. Yeah, literally. It's like going, and I was actually just talking before about this, is like I have a circle that's like, look, this is my way, this is how I do it, this is what and if you're attracted to that, that's awesome. If you're not, that's cool too.
Yeah.
But if I try and convince you or I'm chasing you to do that, it just takes away my energy and it takes the focus off the people that actually want that same thing as well. You know what I mean? So it's nothing against. It's just saying like, well, this is who I am. If you like it, great. If you don't, that's cool too.
Yes.
Moving forward, bam. And then because I know that there's people need to be, because we don't understand people, everyone, you don't know what's going on in the background. Yeah. You don't know how the hardships they're going through or the struggles that they're having mentally or anything like that. And the other probably bad thing is that people see this as bad, but you can't save everyone. Yeah. You can't help everyone. No. So, focus on, yourself first and then those you can help.
Correct.
That's just the mindset I've got.
That makes so much sense.
You know what I mean? So,
correct.
But I love the whole sort of transformation. That's the kickstart. That's the rocket launch. That's the launch pad to go.
Rock and roll, get things moving.
Like you were saying before, how many people have you seen change and have this come in and say thanks multiple times for multiple reasons?
I've loved seeing someone literally change careers to go into fitness. Like that one's always a good feeling. I've literally had one client start. He's literally started his. I think he's working with LiftX, their course at the moment.
Yeah,
but he's literally said to me like, as soon as it's done, like, can I do a little intern with you and all this kind of stuff? And I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. You've done a transformation with me. You've dropped X amount of weight. You've built a bit of a reputation in our community as somebody who's stuck it out and gone through the hard yards. You're a bit of a voice for people to ask questions to. And then why not? Like now you've wanted to jump into the fitness space and then, kind of take over from me more or less, or like, continue that kind of trajectory. And I love seeing that. So I think that's something that we've done something right.
Yeah.
So that's always a really good, rewarding feeling. So there are positives. There are massive positives to it. I just think, if you've not done a transformation yet, you do need to do one to some capacity at some stage. And then hopefully you can look back and say, that was the best thing I ever did.
I don't think there's a negative to it.
Yeah.
Like literally, even if they fail, I mean, even if they go into dark space, at least you learn something about yourself.
Correct.
Either you're not ready or you need to work harder for it.
Yeah.
It's going to take more than what you thought to get there.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, right, I think we could go on all night.
Yeah, we could have a good chat. That was awesome.
But we're going to, wait, thank you, just look down that camera there. Where people can get a hold of you.
Cool. So you can find us at the 365 www.the365physique.com. My profile is Jason Grima on Instagram, or the 365 Physique on Instagram as well. Throw us any questions. We'd obviously love to help.
Brilliant. Appreciate your time, man.
Cool.
Awesome.
Awesome, bro. Cheers.
Right.
Thank you.
Brilliant.